Hey everyone, this is Rocky here from Clarity Coach. Happy New Year. I hope that you guys are all having a great start to your new year as I've been. Despite everything that's going on in this world, I'm super excited about what could happen in this year for us. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to shoot this video at the start of this year. This video today centers around a question that I get quite a lot from couples coming to seek for help. And the question is this: Rocky, how can I fix my marriage? Well, in today's video, I want to answer this question, and I also want to give you a simple exercise that you can do every year that will help you get the most out of your marriage. So let's dive in on this. So when couples come to me and they say, Rocky, we have a problem. How do we fix our marriage? Well, to me, I don't think that the problem is that they have to fix their marriage. In fact, to me, what I think the real problem is that they've forgotten about what they wanted to create in their marriage. And that's really what most of us face, is that we've forgotten. We've forgotten why we're in this marriage, and we've forgotten about what it is that we want to create in this marriage. And by creation, I'm talking about what are the things that we want to experience in this marriage together. See, when we first started dating, it was very clear to us what we wanted to experience. But after we got married and life got busy and there's routines and then there's stress, well, all of these things started to just chew out the wonderful dreams that we had in our thoughts about what we wanted to create in our marriage. And to me, that's the problem. You see, once we get busy in the routine of life and stress starts to hit us, what we end up doing is we feel lost. And all that really means is that we've forgotten about what we want to create. And as soon as we hit that mark, what comes right after that is passivity. So we end up feeling a little bit more passive, or we show up in our marriage in a very passive-oriented mode. And once that starts to take root into our life, what comes next after that? Well, it's called blame. And that's where we end up blaming our partners for the very things that we are needing in our marriage, that we think that they should be creating for us. And it becomes a yearly model, doesn't it? We start blaming our partner for things that they're not doing for us. You see, all the routines and life stresses and expectations that get heaped on us, well, it becomes such a part of our life that we really begin to lose sight and we forget about what it is that we want to feel and what is it that we want to create in our marriage. And that's really the sense of being lost. Now, once we get lost, well, what comes after that is called passivity. We become passive in our marriage. We show up and we just think that things are going to automatically happen, and it doesn't. And what comes right after that is blame. We start blaming our partner for the things that we're really needing in our marriage, but we're actually blaming them for not doing it for us. And that becomes a pretty common trend and a motto, if I could call it that, for the rest of the year. So when I hear couples come to me and say, Rocky, how can I fix my marriage? What I'm really hearing is, Rocky, I really don't know what I want to create in my marriage anymore. I've lost sight of what it is that I want to create. You see, the world has taught us that we need to be clear about what it is that we want. On the other hand, it's also taught us that the person who's responsible for us being able to have or experience the things that we want in life is our partner. And so here's the crux of the problem. What if our partner forgot to do some of these things? What if our partner did them, but they weren't up to our expectations or our standards? Or even worse, what if we assume that our partner has done nothing about these things that we need? Well, there's only one answer, isn't it? And that answer is that our partner's the one to blame for it. And so we do that. So year after year, so many couples around this world take that energy and that focus and they blame their partner for something that they're wanting to create in their marriage, but instead they're waiting for the partner to do it for them. So what I want to do now is I want to share with you an exercise that's super simple, but I believe will help you get the most out of your marriage in 2022. In fact, I believe that this exercise will help you get out of the feelings of being lost or being passive in your marriage, or help you get out of the mode of blaming your partner. In fact, I really want to get you out of the idea that you have to fix your marriage. You don't. You just need to be clear about what it is that you want to create. So let's dive into this. Now, before we get started on the exercise, there's two simple things that I do want you guys to understand. Number one, You are the creator of your world. Whatever it is that you need and whatever it is that you're wanting to experience in your marriage, you are fully responsible for that, not your partner. And the more you take responsibility and the more you take action to the very things that you need and to the very things that you want to experience in your marriage, you are actually going to fulfill that. You will actually begin to experience that in your marriage, okay? So that's number one. You are responsible for the things that you want to create in your marriage. And number two, I want us to shift from creating goals to creating a lifestyle. And let me explain the difference. You see, in our world, when we create goals, what we're trying to do is achieve something. But yet when we're trying to create a lifestyle, what we're really trying to do is form habits. And you see, marriage isn't about achieving something. Marriage is actually about living something on a daily basis with habits that cause us to show up the way that we do for our partner. And that's what we do want to create. So let's dive into this exercise. Now, the basis of this exercise surrounds itself around 7 categories. And I'm going to give them out to you right now. And as I give it to you, I want you to write them down. All right? Now, here you go. Category number 1, emotions. Category number 2, personal growth. Category number 3, experiences together. Category number 4, physical growth. Category number 5, spiritual growth. And category 6, habits. And last but not least, category 7, uncomfortability, or just the word uncomfortable. All right, now that you have the 7 categories, let me explain to you what you need to do for each of these categories. Now, for each one, I want you to find one thing that you would like to experience or create for that category. In fact, let's go through it together right now. So category number 1, emotions. What is it that you want to create or experience as an emotion for the whole year of 2022? Some of my clients put down these answers: peace, joy, gratitude, laughter, love, care, being closer. The idea of feeling closer to our partner. So that's some answers that are suggestions and examples for you of what you want to create. But what do you want to create? What emotions do you want to experience and create in your marriage this year? Let's look at category number 2, personal growth. What specific thing would you like to create or experience in your life this year that will allow you to personally grow? Do you want to read a book maybe, or start a hobby, or take up a new skill, or learn something new? Category number 3, what experiences would you like to have with each other this year? Now, in case you are putting down date night, be a little bit more specific. How many times do you want to do a date night in a month? And what would make that date night really unique and really special that would set itself apart from dinners that you would normally have? So what experiences would you guys like to do together? Category number 4, physical growth. Now, most of the times in this category, we're really focused on fitness, and that's really the intention here. Is I want to inspire you to think of one thing that you're going to add to your routine of life that would allow you to be physically growing. Now, that could be working out in the gym, but it could also be doing something like practicing a type of martial arts, or it could also be practicing a style of meditation that would allow you to physically grow, or it could be really simple, like just walking around the block every night after dinner. Or it could be something simpler like doing 5 jumping jacks every day in between a work shift, or doing 5 minutes of jump rope. So keep it simple, keep it small, keep it practical, but think of it more like a habit that you want to build than a goal that you're trying to achieve. All right, category number 5, spiritual growth. You know, this is such a great category, and there's a little fun fact here for you. Let me share that with you. What I've noticed is that as my clients have grown spiritually or opened themselves up to spirituality, what I've seen as a byproduct is that they've actually grown emotionally. In other words, the more we enter in spiritually or open up spiritually, what I find is that people start to actually grow in their emotions. In other words, they have a larger capacity to love and care and be compassionate with other people, especially their spouse. So this is a good thing. Now, in this category, it's meant to be a broad spectrum of things. Okay, so I'm not talking about one specific angle. So here's what you can consider in the spiritual growth category. You can talk about going to church or going to your temple. You can talk about spiritual disciplines such as journaling or being in silence, meditating, doing yoga. Or you can talk about a more lesser form of spirituality, such as just reading a book about something spiritual, or even considering another form of philosophy like Stoicism, all right? I hope I pronounced that right. So anyways, that's what you can do and include in spirituality. What's one thing that you'd like to do in spirituality? All right, category number 6, habits. What habit would you like to create this year? What habit would you like to experience or form by the end of 2022? Now, habits is a pretty broad category, so pretty much anything fits under here, but understand that you're just trying to pick out one habit that you'd like to grow in. So for example, for me, I get home quite late from work, and by the time I lie down in bed, I'm wanting to unwind. And my habit this year is I just want to read one page out of a book, and that's it, and then be able to get to bed. Instead of surfing for hours on YouTube, decompressing, you know the story, right? Yada, yada, yada. Anyways, what habit would you like to form this year? And last but not least, category number 7, uncomfortable. You know, I got this idea about being uncomfortable for this category from a really great friend and mentor and coach of mine. His name is Dane Sanders. Check out danesanders.com and you'll find some pretty awesome things about Dane and what he's trying to do, which is inspiring men to really be intentional about being uncomfortable. So check out, he's got a great story with regards to this, but in terms of how this applies to us, I want to encourage you to discover what is one thing that you're really uncomfortable with that you could really spend some time in and focus on and developing this year. So typically it's things that we already know that we're uncomfortable with, or it could be something that you're already comfortable with. What would be the opposite of that? So what could be something that you're uncomfortable with that you could really grow and develop for the year of 2022? All right, once you've got all your answers, all that you need to do next, and this is the last step, is I want you to take all your answers and I want you to create a vision board with this. So for each one of these categories and with the answers, pick out 1 or 2 images that would represent each of these words or phrases that you've written down, because these are the goals that you want to focus on. These are the goals that you want to build a lifestyle with. And what works really well for us in building a lifestyle is when we can every day see something visually that triggers us and inspires us and even reminds us from a mood or energy perspective of how we want to show up and feel in our world. And it oftentimes will lead to actions that we'll take in creating what it is that we've written down on our vision board. So take all your answers, find 2 or 3 images or 1 or 2 images that represent each of your answers, put it into a vision board. You can do this digitally like on Photoshop, or I'm sure there's some app out there that will allow you to create a digital vision board. If not, you can do it old school, print it out, mount it up, and mount it in a place where you'll see it every day, right? So I'll have mine mounted up in my bathroom so that every time I'm walking in and I'm brushing my teeth or something like that, I will see it. I'll visually be triggered. I'll be visually reminded about the life that I want to create, the life that I want to experience in my marriage for the year of 2022. Well, guys, I hope this is helpful. I hope it'll serve you, and I hope you guys find some fun and have some fun in creating this. So leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear some of your answers on what you've put in with your categories, or send me a sample, like a picture of your vision board that you've created. But have fun. That's the key, okay, guys? Have lots of fun this year, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.